always the uke of choice.
Yeah, I think it's just.
Let's start with mount. So if you.
Everyone knows the grapevine, right? So from the grapevine, you'll tend to be in the low mounts, don't you? Rather than high mounts. And the traditional way of grapevining is that if you were Hoary and Gracie, you would say, and then we punch him in the face, and then we call the police, right? That's what it was designed for. But it's also very handy to annoy him and prevent him from escaping, trying to escape, blah blah blah. And there's ways of unhooking your feet, that sort of thing. But also, I'm kind of stuck as well. And so it's really just serves as an illustrative purpose that I'm here, I can kind of connect to him, and that's pretty much the end of the story. But what if we took the grapevine and worked it a little harder and really try and talk his leg out?
Oh my God.
And now we're inflicting a little pain. Not enough to tap, but it just makes it harder for him to escape. So as he wriggles around trying to escape, it's a little bit harder, right? So that's the theme of today. We're doing this sort of thing, right? Now, what's really interesting, we reverse roles where we just go from here, and now he's in my close guard. Okay, if I can bring his weight over here, we can grapevine here. Has anyone done this before, the grapevine? Yeah. So this is just an annoying grapevine, but you can really start pulling out. And if you can trap one side, you can lift and sweep, and guess what, in grapevine as well. So that's what I'm going to start off with. I'm going to practice a few reps. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't get more complicated than that really. So really the technique is from the bottom. This is where it's useful for you. The top grapevine is just a stalling position. But the bottom grapevine, you have to find a way to break down his weight distribution so he's coming towards you. And then usually you look up here and then you think, oh, here's a foot. You can even just do it one-legged. Okay, and you can block this foot here, so I'll do it this side. One-legged. And you really need to, don't just grapevine there, you need to torque his leg up. We can block here, and we can start fishing in here. See how I bring him over to us. Can do just a couple of reps, and then we'll move on from there. Yeah, okay, 1, 2, 3.
Martin.
So basically, the theme is this thing here, this lever, which I think is very underrated and not used a lot, but it's really, really handy. If you think about it, it's just a lever. And when I started doing this on people, when people started doing it on me, I gave it a nickname, the Amerilecana, because it's kind of like doing the Americana. And then I realised I was completely wrong, because this is internal rotation, and actually if you do internal rotation on your arm, it's the kimura, so it should be the leg mirror, right? So that's why I'm going to nickname it, the leg mirror. So you're doing that. So it really affects the hip bone, and that's all we're doing. We're doing everything to affect the hip bone, which you operate from low down. It's the end of the lever. You're using a crank and you're doing things like that. If you think about it, if you move this and you do it yourself, it affects your whole upper body. It's very, very effective. One thing that, if you go into turtle for me. So one thing where it's really useful is turtle. Now if you think about it, if I can pull this leg out there, he's losing his stability, and it's a matter of picking it up, and then he can attack, right? And but the problem is getting access to the leg, because if he sort of shifts his weight down here, it's very hard to get that out. So you have to kind of attack from the top. Start moving into here, and start attacking here, and start making sure that he's defending up here. And as they defend up there, you imperceptibly, there will be enough of a gap for you to start hooking here. So you can see I'm hooking on there. So when I hook on the hair, I can bring it out. Now be very careful about this, because although it's a hip movement, there is a little bit of torque in the knees, but if his hips refuse to move, so there. That's all I need. Just bring that out here. So generally it's very hard to recover this once that's in here, so he can't get back into turtle, and he'll either stay where he is, or he'll hopefully invert and transition to something else, but the waiters have got an advantage. Anyway, if you can capitalise on this movement here, you can break it out down, and it's very much the simplest way to do it is just to move in and start collapsing. So it's very useful for collapsing someone's structure. We go back into turtle. If you think about he's on two skis. I thought this analogy in the car. You're skiing, right? And when you're skiing, you have two skis. If you take one ski away, he's got one ski. It's very easy to tip him over, right? So we can try that. So that's the hard bit is the fishing the thing out. So if you imagine there's nothing to fish out. So I'm working here, and as we're trying to do that, see there, we've got a chance there. So I'm here, and then we're just a little tweak out. And I've got what I need really. When my training partner does this to me, he then puts his shin across the other one, creates a little bit of a pressure on the Achilles, which is not tappable, but it's really annoying. But equally, he can't invert. Both legs are trapped, so if you try and invert, it's kind of like, I'm kind of stuck now. So now I don't have to put my weight from there and risk being reversed. I can just wait it out, or just see what happens there, and then we can start fishing around for upper body attacks. So that might be something to try. Can we give that a go, guys? Yeah? 1, 2, 3. So I think where the that leg mirror, let's call it the leg mirror, it really comes into its own is in half guard. You may have already seen these, I'm sure you've already done these techniques. But they're really, really useful. This is one of the sort of first sweeps we teach in traditional half guard aspects of Nisha. Is to go on here, and then we're very, very low down on the hip, and then we swap over and we bring that leg out. This allows us freedom to bring this leg out, and then we have a choice of things to do. One of the things we can do is go underneath and roll over here, like a traditional body sweep. Here, and the other thing we can do is, once we get to our knee, we can move towards the person and go over here. And all this is aided and abetted by the fact that we can, we use this thing here. See how I've talked the hip out? Sorry, rotated the hip joint, took the outer leg outwards. And the thing what I see with a lot of my beginner students is they just do this. And very hard then to get that leg out. So if I talk it out, it's almost like you can lift them from here anyway, you don't need to get okay. But it is handy to get the leg up, because then you can have the freedom to sit quite nicely. Yeah, so there are more exotic things you can do from there. Another one that's using this principle of talking the leg up is from half guard. Is instead of some people switch hips, so they switch hips and put your hip onto the ground. So this is a legitimate way to escape half guard. I would come here for the octopus guard. And again, as we spoke, you can get this leg talked outwards. So you can either sweep them here, or you can use this to, if they push their weight backwards, you can then do a hip bump sweep and do that. And it's all because of the here, what you're doing is, although it feels like, oh, I'm talking the knee, but I'm actually controlling the hip and his alignment as a result. So by turning his hip, see how it affects his upper body and how it moves that. So that's 2 ideas for you to try. So just, if you want to try these, up to you. But, so two very simple ideas. Here. Really try and get the ankle outwards. And then you can go that way, or you can go that way, depending on how the person reacts, because they will react. And then the sort of more exotic version is, as they do here, you go up. And then if we're going to talk out his hand, you can either talk this way, or you can kick bumps, sweep, that way. These are quite nice, I like using those. Can we give this a play? Yeah, 62. So far, this lever, this leg mirror lever, is really useful for collapsing someone's structure. We looked at it from turtle, we looked at it from mounts and close guard, and we looked at it from half guard. And it's very much about using that lever to sort of collapse their structure. We can actually use this to create a sweep where you're picking something up and bringing it all the way over here, which is really, really useful thing to do, especially in certain positions. It will involve leg locks, so if you don't like leg locks, then tough. If you stand up, on your knees, yeah. So this one is fairly common setup for the knee bar. I don't know if you think that, if you like knee bars or not, but from half guard, we're framing, and if I can get my leg round here and bring this down here, his structure is pretty much like a turtle with open arms. And then it's a matter of attacking that leg. So I'm not even attacking that, just reaching. And what I'm about to do is the same hip talking action we did in others. So instead bring it towards me, see how that bends, and then he falls into place. Very, very nice for the knee bar, or if you come up and do all these silly things called heel hooks, then, you know, which we don't do. So sensitive movement actually. You can play with that. This is very nice. So once again, this time it's from the knee shield, and I want the space here. Now, people who are used to sparring moving, they just don't give me that space. So that's problematic, but it doesn't stop me necessarily. I can even do it from knee shield from here. As I'm here, I'm just reaching. As long as the body weight takes the bum weight slightly off the heels, I've got access. I can bring this out. Now this doesn't allow me necessarily to get a great leg lock finish, but it's awkward for him. And it's very hard to sit back on your bum from here, you see, because I've now got it, and there's no strength. It's just like a fishing hook. So if I bring him towards me, I have possibly access to legs from here. Usually this doesn't get a nice knee bar, but it gets a nice toe hold, or at the very least it's a sweep, and I can come up. So that's quite nice. Another example of where you're bringing the leg, and it's such a nice lever with no effort or strength you can use to bring someone's weight over you. Is from, is everyone happy with doing a choy bar? Yeah? Yes.
Yes, there is.
So choy bar, generally you want to capture the shoulder, and we're freeing the bottom leg, and we're dropping down, and we're finding our connection underneath his body. Keeping the arm tight, straight. Potentially there's a reverse arm bar here, or if we twist it right, there's an arm bar here. But usually they grab something to defend themselves, so it's very hard to get the arm bar from here. Again, guess what? You know it's coming. You know, pick up the leg, and we're going to fish it outwards in this direction. That weakens his structure, and it's very hard for him to recover from here. So usually either he'll voluntarily roll over, or you will encourage him to roll over. And then we get into this position where we can have a better chance to attack for the arm bar. So just okay. This time I'm doing it from closed guard, but of course, as you know, choy bar you can do from quite a lot of different guards. Pushing underneath, here, dropping underneath. This is the tricky bit that when I teach my students, they leave this leg out there. Not the end of the world, you can still do it, but it makes it very weird and twisty. You have to kind of free this foot, tuck it underneath, squeeze the knees. It's just like doing a normal arm bar, you just happen to be in a weird position. You're squeezing your knees together, this is how you would do an arm bar, right? You would find a way to do an arm bar here. But what we want to practice today is fishing that leg out and making it super easy to come over. Make sure you correct yourself, finishing for the arm bar here. And that's your choy bar. The previous one was the step over to knee bar. A bit more exotic. Want to try those? Yeah, it's one of my sessions. I can't not do leg locks from there, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think leg mirror is nice. Or you see, if you say knee talk, people think it's hurting the knee, but in theory it doesn't. You're just moving the hip bone. You're moving the hip joint. It's a ball and socket joint, right? But it's only when this doesn't move, you can do it yourself, lock it in, and then it comes out, and then you'll feel the. Let's not go there. It's too frightening. Okay, one more leg lock I want to show. Sorry, from closed guard. Which I had a mini obsession with K guards where we're going here. Everyone familiar with K guards where you drop the knee down, okay, and then when you step over, we're going to bring this leg over again using that same talking action. This time we're going to insert this foot here, and once we're here, we can get the backside 50-50. Sorry. So, okay, I get enough from that impression when I do that, so that's fine. Yeah, we'll do another one. This was popular in my club. John Will taught me this one, and it's the scorpion tail. So from here, this is an unpleasant side control he's got cross face, and okay. If we can find a way to get here, okay, so if you look at his body positioning, this is exactly the same trigger you should get, thinking, oh, okay, that means his leg is light. So if I turn away, and you think it won't never show your back to him. Now look at this leg, we're bringing this out, the fish hooking it out, same thing again, okay, and he doesn't like that, so he kind of lifts it up, and then we can start hooking, and then we can start playing open guard and bringing it into leg locks, or coming up and those things. I think that's worth practicing, because it's such a cute little escape, and it's really, really cheeky, right, and we're at the stage now, we should be learning cheeky stuff, because let's face it, the textbook stuff don't work because everybody knows the response to that, because we're good at teaching it, right? But the cheeky stuff doesn't get taught a lot. So flat on my back, not a good idea. Underhook down. So we can have to get it over there. Now, if you can frame like that, he wants to fight this to get this back. While he's doing that, I turn my tailbone to him, so I'm facing away. He clearly wants to straighten up again, and that gives me the opportunity to do that. So there has to be a little bit of, he's not expecting that. And this is easy to do from here. Get it at the end point, lift it up, bring it towards you. No need to break their legs or anything, and just if you can lift it up here. Now I've got my butterfly hook, and this is good for me. I can only have to turn to him, so if he aggressively puts his hand into me, he gives me what I want. Like this. And you can either escape or fight leg locks or come up from top. You want to try that? That's what I wanted to show you. There's loads more, but I think you get the idea. Okay, 1, 2, 3.